Hi friends, this is Hindu editorial page article published on 5th of July. This article talks about Salva Judam judgment which was delivered 10 years ago. By listening to this article, you can form your own opinion about the matter. So let's begin. How Chhattisgarh has stalled a historic judgment. The Salva Judam judgment was delivered 10 years ago, but nothing has been done to implement it. 10 years ago, on July 5, 2011, Justice B. Sudarshan Reddy and S.S. Nijjar delivered a historic judgment banning Salva Judam. A vigilante movement started in 2005 and sponsored by the Chhattisgarh and central government, ostensibly to fight against the Maoists. The judges also ruled that the use of surrendered Maoists and untrained villagers in frontline counter-insurgency operations as a special police officer was unconstitutional. It directed that the existing SPOs be redeployed in traffic management or other such safe duties. Other matters, especially prosecution of security forces and others involved in human rights violation and rehabilitation of villagers who had suffered violence, were left pending since the state had been asked to submit comprehensive plans for this. 10 years on, nothing has been done to implement the judgment. Instead, the state government has merely renamed SPOs. They are now known as District Reserve Guard. Conversations with District Reserve Guards (DRG) members have revealed that most of them are captured or surrendered Maoists and are given automatic weaponry as soon as they join the police force. Some of them get 3 month of training and some not even that. They commit the most excesses against their former fellow villagers, suffer the most casualties in any operations, and are paid much less than the regular constabulary. All the regions the judges had outlawed their use. A contempt petition filed in 2012 is still awaiting hearing. Although final hearings commenced in December 2018 before another bench of Justice Madan Lokur and Justice Deepak Gupta, the judges retired soon thereafter and there has been no hearing since. New struggles. Much has happened on the ground since then. At its peak between 2005 and 2007, the Judum involved forcing villagers into government-controlled camps. Those who refused were punished by having their villages burned. Hundreds of people were killed and their deaths were not even recorded as encounters. Villagers fled to neighboring state or into the forest around their villages. Sangham members, active but unarmed Maoist sympathizers, were either jailed or compelled to join the security forces as SPOs. Today, the Judam campus are virtually empty, with only the former SPOs and their families remaining. Is now permanent houses. Villagers split between those who went to the camp and those who went to the forest are now reconciled. People have come back and started cultivation. An entire generation has grown up and, as we see in the movement against the Central Reserve Police Force CRPF camp in Silgar, have emerged a new struggles. Across the region, villagers are demanding schools and health centers. Instead, what they have got in abundance are CRPF camps. These have come up at intervals of less than 5 kilometers, and roads are being bulldozed through what were once dense forests. The only Supreme Court direction to have been implemented since 2007, when the case began, was that security forces vacate the schools where they were camped. But that is because, with its own larger takeover of public land and private fields, the CRPF no longer has any use of those ruined structures. Villagers have tried out all the tools of getting justice but failed. The residents of Tadmilta, Timapuram, and Marpoli, whose villages were burned by the security forces in 2011, traveled hundreds of kilometers to give evidence before the Central Bureau of Investigation, which found in their favor and filed a charge sheet against some SPOs. In a rare moment, the National Human Rights Commissions castigated the government for violations in village Kondaswali. In a case filed by lawyer Sudha Bhardwaj, the villagers in Sarkaguda, where 17 innocent people, including children, have been shot dead one night in June 2012, showed great courage and persistence in deposing before a judicial inquiry commission. But in all these cases, where the government and security forces have been indicted by independent inquiries, no steps have been taken to prosecute those responsible. TR and their TR and their Ujina and Ashok Desai, the lawyers who argued that the villagers pro bono in the Supreme Court, have passed away, and Justice Nijjar too. Mr. Bhardwaj has been in jail since 2018 on contested charges. Along with 5 others, I have survived a false charge of murder leveled by the police and even been compensated by the NHRC for the mental trauma undergone. Through our case is an exception, though our case is an exception. Podium Panda, former Communist Party of India activist who supported the Tadmalta villagers to demand justice, was arrested, allegedly tortured, and is now a police informer. The Maoist will not let him or his wife, the former Sarpanch of Chintagufa, return to the village, even though all the people of Chintagufa and neighboring villages want them back. Promises not kept. In 2014, the Bharatiya Janata Party government replaced the 10-year-old Congress government at the center. In 2018, a Congress government replaced the 15-year-old BJP government in Chhattisgarh. Mahendra Karma, the Adivasi face of a violent movement jointly run by the BJP and Congress, was killed by the Maoist in 2013. The Medical College Hospital in Dimrapal is now named after him. SRP Kaluri, a Bastar Inspector General of Police, was accused of many human rights violations. He was moved out of Batsar, but never prosecuted, despite being named in an internal report by the CBI for burning Taj Melta. When contesting the elections in 2018, the Congress promised to do something about the thousands of innocent villagers who are arrested in mass by police as suspected Maoists and spent long years in jail before being acquitted. For those villagers, meeting their families is difficult, and hiring lawyers drain their marriage resources. Even as a few dedicated human rights lawyers have tried to help, the scale of arrest is massive. Yet the government's resolve in freeing prisoners, even during COVID 19, is in stark contrast to its resolve in setting up security camps and arresting more people. Deaths in encounters between Jawans and Maoists periodically hit the national headlines, but extrajudicial killings of villagers and Maoists and killings of suspected informers by Maoists continue at a steady pace, uh, relying rarely hitting any high publicity note. An estimate given to the press on June 28 at Sarkeguda claimed 187 deaths in fake encounter between 2015 and 2021. Another promise made by the Congress providing protection to journalists also lies in threats. The difficulties faced by the activists of the Chhattisgarh Bachao Andolan and the CPI in reaching Silgar and Sarkeguda show how the BJP's tactics continue. The villagers were told that COVID-19 restrictions meant they could not mourn the victim on the anniversary of the Sarkeguda massacre, but a day later, the administration laid out a red carpet and large crowd to welcome Congress MLA Kawasi Lakhma. Unless both sides get serious about peace talk, another 10 years will pass. The 2011 Supreme Court judgment will be rendered even more meaningless, as will the idea of justice or the rule of law even being possible in this land in this time. About the writer Nandini Sundar, professor of sociology, Delhi School of Economics, is one of the petitioners in Salwa Judham case.